All right, well, first of all, let me just say I'm not going to sound anywhere as smart as the person that just went before me, but I'm going to try my hardest. I don't have all those big words. But my name is Claire Wineland. I am 14 years old, and I have an illness called cystic fibrosis. I could get into all the genetics of it, but I will totally bore you if I do. So as a result of it, though, I've had 25 surgeries. I've been hospitalized around 25% of my life, 1,000 days, give or take. I have to do treatments 4 to 5 times a day just to keep myself from coughing my head off. And my life expectancy when I was born wasn't really past 18 years old. And really, in general, my life has been my life, and I have always learned how to deal with it. And I know that everyone, when I explain all the things that I've been through in my life, it probably sounds like, oh, poor girl, I'm so sorry she's had to go through all this. But that's kind of what I want to explain to all you guys today, that I don't want you to feel poor girl with the oxygen tank. I want to be able to touch you in a way that other people can't, because I want to be able to explain the other side of a challenge or the other side of a problem. So really, my life began when I was, a baby, of course, and I think this is how... Hey, look, there it is. I am a cute baby up there. So when I was younger, growing up with an illness is always a challenge, but it was never a challenge in the way people, would think it would be. I had fun like every other kid. To me, I am every other kid in my eyes. But it was never every other kid in anyone else's eyes. I was always, oh, poor girl, can't go to school like everyone else, or, can't run like everyone else. You must feel miserable. But I never did feel miserable. I felt perfectly fine, and I loved my life. But, over time, the weirdest thing happened is I started to feel inadequate in a way because I didn't feel miserable. Like there was some weird joy in feeling miserable that I was, left out on. And, and I didn't understand it. But, of course, I wasn't Pollyanna. I still got frustrated with treatments, with pills. It was my life, whether it was good or bad, in the ups and downs. And, when you're growing up with any kind of illness, you learn to have fun with it, because there's no way you're going to get a toddler to sit down and do treatments for 2 hours a day when, you don't have fun with it. So my entire family has helped me kind of learn these awesome ways to have fun with it. One of the things I do is called the vest, which looks something like this. So it looks something like the thing over me, and it basically shakes. You know how Howie Day was doing the weird voice thingy mabobber? It sounds like that, except faster. So, and it breaks up the mucus off the sides of my walls and helps me cough up mucus, basically. And so we used to do something called vest art, which is where I take markers in my hands and squeeze them together on the side and just kind of start shaking. And it turns out looking something like this. I just put paper in front of it. Although this is years of motor skills with my hands, so it looks a lot better now than it did when I was 5 years old. But the whole point of it is life was always fun, and it always ended up being fine, But I never understood why other people couldn't really understand that I was happy and that I was fine. So I kind of, over time, I've learned to accept people's, I'm so sorry, and kind of just let it roll off my shoulders, But I found out, in other cultures and other, religions, having an illness was actually considered a blessing, or not only an illness, a problem or a challenge or adversity. It was considered a kind of a message from your higher power, like an open door. And the actual translation for problem was empowering situation. So I had my very own little empowering situation like a year ago. And I went to a regular surgery, and I came out and I had blood sepsis, attacked the weakest part of my body, which at the point was my lungs. And I went into lung failure. I was on a ventilator at first. That didn't work, so then they put me on an oscillator, which is like a ventilator on steroids. And, and I was in a coma for 2 weeks. And when I came out of it, the doctor said I had a 1% chance of living. And no kid with cystic fibrosis had ever come off of an oscillator and stayed alive before. So it's very cool to come out of it and really to see all the people that had kind of come out of the woodworks and come out from my past life and kind of support me in a way. And that was really, I mean, I got messages from people in Fiji and people in Israel saying that they were praying for me. Oh, I forgot to change to a clip. That was me in the coma. And just on a totally other side. So, it was a very empowering situation. And I kind of learned so much from it. And then from there, I ended up going to Alaska as kind of a dream trip. It was supposed to be, all chill, beautiful scenery, and it ended up being this crazy, impactful, adventure. I got to have dinner with the senator. I got to fly in a U.S. helicopter. I got to do so much awesome things I never thought I could do. And that kind of what inspired me to help other kids with CF kind of travel. So my foundation, the Claire Space Foundation, kind of started off as a helping kids travel and helping kids kind of see the world who have CF, because it's a pain in the bottom sometimes, I gotta admit, getting all the medical stuff on the plane. But, it kind of grew into so much more than just helping kids travel. It kind of grew into this crazy helping kids with everything, because cystic fibrosis is actually the #1 genetic illness in the world, and there's no government funding for it at all. So as a result, all of the funding from people kind of goes to the cure, which is awesome, but there's nothing for now. There's nothing to help kids or families dealing with it right now. So that's kind of what we want to do. Let them know that their life is not ruined because of an illness, that it actually can make it even more rich and fulfilling and beautiful. And that's kind of what my whole life has been about, is trying to help other people understand truly how rich having a problem can make your life. There's this awesome saying that I love, that you will never truly get what you want until you want what you have. And, at first I didn't really like that saying, because I'm like, wait, no, I don't want what I have. You want to have more, right? You don't, want what you have. That's messed up. But when you start thinking about it, no matter what you have, you're always going to be wanting something more. It's kind of human nature. Sorry, one sec. Hairball. So you're always going to really, really kind of want something more, because that's just the way we are. So to be able to enjoy what you have and love what you have and grow from it is such a gift. And to not label things as being good or bad. Everyone always is labeled an illness or a problem as being a negative thing or a bad thing. But what if it's not? What if it's the exact opposite? What if people, hundreds of years ago in those other cultures were right? What if it is this awesome, empowering situation from God, And so I kind of, I just totally forgot to skip through all the pictures of Alaska. So anyway, and everything. So I'm kind of behind on this. Just forget about the pictures. Just hear my words. So throughout everything, at the end, catching up with the whole past of my life to now, I'm really trying to help people understand that their problems, and it doesn't have to be an illness. It can be, paying your bills, or, wanting a house, or wanting money, or wanting health in general. And how the difference between just wanting, for me, it's always been wanting a cure. But I didn't really realize why I wanted a cure. And I started to think about it. It wasn't because I just, I want to cure because I want a cure, or I want to be healthy because I want to be healthy. I want, a big house because I want to be a big house. It's, why do you want it? What will it give you that makes you so much happier? And when you start to think about that, you start to think about the things that you want and how you can get them with what you have, and work with what you have already, and just make that even more empowering and amazing. And I went to the beach earlier today just to kind of clear my head, because I was totally stressing out about this thing. And I was in the water, and I was just kind of feeling the ebb and flow of everything, and it really made me realize how beautiful life is. And the surgeon earlier today was talking about cherishing life, and I thought, You know, it's so true. And people tend to get discouraged when they have problems or things to overcome, when really that's the part to cherish life the most, you know? That's when you get to, like, get the most out of every second of your life. So if you take anything from my little talk, it's to cherish every second and make the best out of what you have. And sometimes the best out of what you have is the best. So thank you.
Let's see here. Claire, you know what? I think we want to see your slides. I think the world wants to see your slides. Let's just have you take the world, because the world is out there watching this live. I actually heard from someone who knows that there are people in Italy watching this right now. I don't know if they're awake, but at least at one point there were. So,
well, I think they said
so
Italy,
if you could just take the crowd.
Italy live the longest, right? Apparently, from what we learned today. So you'll take this with you the longest. All right. So this was me as a baby. Actually, at the time, I was going through this crazy like panting phase where I couldn't stop panting for like 2 weeks. My lungs were doing some crazy stuff, and you know I totally didn't care. I was kind of happy and up sitting laughing. This is me doing my vest, obviously, and this was vest art. This is me in the coma, which we got very few pictures of the coma because we didn't kind of want to jinx it in a way. We didn't want to be like, yeah, let's take pictures. Oh, darn. You know, so, but that was one of the few ones we had. And then this was when we got to Sitka, Alaska. This was flying in a biplane over Alaska to the beautiful island of Baranof, I want to say it was called. And this was us doing a flash mob. We kind of did it to kickstart our foundation. I had a whole part in my little speech about that, totally blanked out. But nonetheless, it ended up being so cool because all the people that kind of came to support me during the coma kind of came back and helped with the flash mob. So it was a very cool way to kind of kickstart our foundation. And then this is it. You will never get what you want until you really want what you have. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.